Hannah Murray on TRE in the afternoon.
Joining us on the line now is Rusty Egan, one of the most iconic and influential figures in electronic music. He's the co-founder of Visage, achieving international success with hits like Fade to Grey, and was resident DJ at London's iconic Blitz Club, helping define the new romantic movement. His new autobiography captures the birth of British electronic music, 1980s London nightlife, and collaborations with the likes of Midge, Steve Strange, and many other music pioneers. Welcome to the show, Rusty.
Hi, hopefully you can hear me, yes?
I can, absolutely.
Oh, technology today. Wonderful.
It's great when it works, isn't it?
Yes.
So how are you? Autobiography, very exciting.
Yes, well, that was actually started during COVID.
Yeah.
And then Dylan Jones brought out a book called New Romantics. And there was a book called We Can Be Heroes by Chris Sullivan and Graham Smith. And there's a book on Kraftwerk by Uwe Schute. And then I logged on and there's a book by Martin Kemp, Gary Kemp, Steve Strange, Midge. So I started to say, what am I going to put in my book? Everybody's kind of told the stories. And then I thought, Rusty Egan, who's he? I thought maybe I should tell people who I am.
Yeah.
And then tell them to refer to this book, that book, the other book while reading my book, and listen to my Blitz 300 track Spotify playlist, and hear the music while you're reading the book. And then you get to understand an Irish kid, me, how I became a musician and how I learned to play what I played, who I met along the way, how I was not accepted as a drummer in the Clash, and I hung around at all the punk gigs, and I met Glenn Matlock from the Sex Pistols. He got kicked out of the band. We went to Scotland and got Midge. It's all kind of like that point of view, really.
Yeah.
And then Midge and I got bottles thrown at us and spat at us every night.
No.
Yeah, because it was like punk was really violent, you know? And we said, why don't we start a band where we don't have to tour? and we can make videos, you know? So it's basically about how that all came to be and how the rich kids went through hell, got dropped, and Midge and I were now penniless again. And I became a DJ to pay the rent. And then we got a bit of studio time out of BMI. And I found Steve Strange and said, why don't we get him to be the face? You know, he can be the star. You and me will write and produce all the music. We'll get all these amazing musicians I know. And he goes, who do you know? I said, have you ever heard of Billy Currie? Ultravox? No. Well, he's coming to the club tonight. Why don't you come and meet him? Have you heard of John McGeoch with Magazine? Well, I've heard of Magazine, but I've never really met them. Well, he's coming to the club tonight. So I basically became this guy that introduced me to Ultravox. And then I found Soft Cell, Depeche Mode, obviously because I'm a DJ and interested in music. And the point really is they all went on to fame except me.
Oh, no, that sucks.
Well, in my book, I do have a sort of what about me moment, you know, poor me, poor me. But I've learned nobody cares, Rusty. Nobody cares. Just get on with it, you know.
But when you look back at all those times, I mean, they must have been amazing times, like in the clubs and meeting and working with all those people, whether doing the drumming back in the early days or the DJing and in the clubs, the music production.
Yeah,
great fun.
I'm the DJ. Well, I was the first DJ. What do you mean the first DJ? There were loads of DJs, Rusty. Yeah. There were loads of DJs that played ladies' night, soul and funk and disco. Fine. I was the first one to play weird music. They called it the normal. You know, what is that? Well, Daniel Miller, he ended up starting Mute Records and signing Depeche Mode. Soft Cell. Who were they? A couple of students I met in Leeds. And basically, the playlist, we made a song called Tar with a singer I found in a band, Steve Strange. Midge and I made in the year 2525 to see if we could make music like Kraftwerk. I then went to Dusseldorf, found Kraftwerk, met them, spent the whole night with them, driving them crazy, asking questions like a fan. I then went to Berlin and followed in the steps of David Bowie and went to the Romy Hard Club, met Romy, bought her 12-inch record. Like a fan. There's a guy out there called Mark Reeder. He performed last night at Hansa by the Wall with Wolfgang Flür from Kraftwerk. Wolfgang is on my new album. Tony Hadley's in Berlin tonight with my Berlin mates. He got them on the guest list. Thank you, Tony. Tony's on my new album. Wolfgang's on my album. Zane Griff's on my album. Earl Slick and Glenn Matlock and me and Johnny Foster from Hardwick Circus. We've done a song called Forever, remembering Mick Ronson, who played with David Bowie, but produced the Rich Kids, who left us really early in the 90s. Steve New, the guitar player, who left us. And recently now we just lost Clem Burke from Blondie, Brian James from The Damned, Mike Peters from The Alarm. And this song is called Forever. They live on, they live on, they live on. Their music will live on forever. And that was the point of that song. And it started when Rich Kids reformed for one night only in 2010, because the youngest member of the band had 6 months to live. And my whole poor me went out the window. And I went, wow, I'm healthy. I'm clean. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't take drugs. I've got children. I've got grandchildren. I mean, I just became a different person when people so close to you, and then your mum and dad die, and my sister died, and my brother died, and I just sort of got more real. I got like where we are right now in life. Life is precious. So my album, Romantic, it made me think of all like Julios Inglesos to all the girls I loved before. So I started writing all these love songs, and it ended up being an album called Romantic. And there's one song on it with Zane Griff, and it's called Visions of You. And I have a friend who lives in Austria, and I have Wolfgang Flür, who tells the story. And they both call it Visions of You. Visions of You. So Visions of You is a beautiful love song. I've got a song on it called Best Friend, which is about people that the chorus is basically when you're in love with someone who's in love with someone else. How many times have you heard that? Why don't you go back to her then? You're still in love with your ex, you know? How many times have you heard that?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm not going to forget her, am I? I mean, I'm not going to cut her out of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm an old romantic. I got a book out, The Romantic. Why is it called the autobiography? Well, that comes from Kraftwerk, really. What do you mean? Well, they just made everything simple. Everything, it is an autobiography. That's right. Okay. That's it.
Kept it simple. It is what it says on the tin.
They got their influences from Andy Warhol, who basically made pop art. So they made pop music, but as electronic in the middle of the 70s.
Yeah.
You're a redhead there. You're a redhead. I'm a rusty.
No, I'm blonde. It's just the camera angle.
Are you really a redhead, but you've had it highlighted?
I think it's strawberry blonde. That's what they call it.
Oh, I go strawberry blonde when I put lemon in my hair when I'm in Ibiza. When I'm in Ibiza.
You don't still do that.
Yeah, when I'm in Ibiza, I fall in love with myself. I look in the mirror and I go, you're not looking bad for an old guy. Little bit of lemon in the hair and a touch of sunshine, and I suddenly think I'm George Michael in Club Tropicana.
Brilliant.
Which is, I'm actually in the same place where he made
it was filmed there, absolutely.
Pike's Hotel. Yeah, Pike's Hotel.
Listen, I want to ask you about DJing and how that has changed massively over the years, over the decades, back in the day.
Worse.
Well,
worse.
I was going to say back in the day, using actual records and, quite the skill to DJ. And now most DJs, it's all about pressing buttons. How have you kind of seen that evolve and what are your thoughts on it?
Well, don't forget, I am a fan of innovative technology.
Yeah.
To use it. But probably in about 2 to 3 years, there might not be any DJs. And there might not be any Rusty Egans. There might not even be you. We have AI.
Yeah.
AI will imitate you, copy you, and have an avatar of you. And we'll be right back after this break. And it'll all be owned and sponsored by big brands. And they will have a playlist. And the playlist will only be the biggest songs that have ever happened. And you won't get the B-side that, you won't get the nerdy, I heard this on John Peel. You won't get, I heard this song. You won't get nothing. I think we're going backwards. I think being human will become a complete asset. And what I mean by that is you can go online and watch a TED Talk, or you can go to a TED Talk. So if you can go to a TED Talk and you can meet the person and you can buy their book and you can have some time and you can read that book and you can correspond with that book on their own social media platform, I think we will become like me being a fanboy, jumping on a plane and going to Dusseldorf and asking around, anybody know who these blokes called Kraftwerk, and finding them, going in record shops and finding records, bringing them back and playing them to Midure, who then goes in a studio and writes Vienna, and your cloakroom attendant turns out to be Boy George, and the band want to play in their Spandau Ballet, and you go, all right, I'll put you on next week. And then you find a band called Depeche Mode and you give them 50 quid and they show up and put their synthesizers on beer crates. I think those same individuals will be 18 to 25. They will turn away from everything that's easy, i.e. AI, and it does it for you and it mixes it for you and it matches the keys for you. And it's all done with AI. They've learned how to copy everyone and they've learned. So fine. Okay, fine. But you know what? I'm Rusty Egan. I'm here right now and I'm talking to you and I'm a human. What we got to learn to do is monetize that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, it's a bit embarrassing to say to someone, I'm going to busk and hold out a hat and ask you to put some coins in it because you might think I'm a homeless person. Well, that's what a musician is today. A musician is someone that says, hey, I'm singing you a song that I wrote and I'd love you to hear it and I need to go. Now you can go to Greg's and you can buy a token to feed the homeless. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Well, 2018, I went to California, to San Francisco, and I own an app, and it's called You Busk, and it was to help musicians who won't have any coins. I wanted to make digital currency that you could then exchange in pret-a-manger, and you could then go to Wasabi. And guess what? You can now go at 8 o'clock and get 50% off Wasabi. Now, it's in an app called Too Good To Go.
Oh, I know that. I have that. Too Good To Go.
So my idea in 2018 was to support creatives with an app, and you're giving them money to buy strings, guitars, synthesizers, social media. You're doing something, except that when you're like, what's his name? Louis Tourette's. Louis, he's got Tourette's.
Oh, Louis Capaldi. Yeah.
You would know, you're a radio DJ.
Louis Capaldi. Yeah.
An 18-year-old Louis Capaldi in Fife with a guitar, right? And his trousers falling off, right? You would have been one of the first people that gave him £2 for a coffee, right? We would have kept that data. And now he's on at the Albert Hall. There's also a website called Tickets. A friend of mine owns it. And guess what they do? They give tickets to hospitals, cancer patients, people that are not in a position to pay for the tickets, right? And the artists like Adele and Louis, they allocate 200 tickets to this website. So what I was trying to do was to help people. And guess what I got?
What?
Nobody gives a Rusty. We only care about making money.
Oh, that's terrible.
Silicon Valley don't care. Elon Musk doesn't care. Zuckerberg doesn't care. As a matter of fact, Zuckerberg will remove your profile if you say anything that they don't agree with.
Yeah.
And we're entering a world where TikTok will be owned. We're all going to be ID'd. So Frequency 7, the B-side of the first ever single by Visage, 45 years ago, released in November, is exactly that. It's basically the computers are going to take over our world. And we're all going to end up like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What a frightening thought.
Well, yeah, because, imagine if you went on a date and somebody knew everything about you.
Yeah.
Everything. I'm going on a date with this radio guy. Oh, she's a blonde. She's beautiful. And I know what her favourite food is and her favourite restaurant. I know everything about her. And then you come and meet him for dinner and you go, this is a stalker. I'm having dinner with a stalker. What am I doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm a romantic. I like romance. I like to win a girl.
Yeah. In a bit of a proper way.
Yeah, a bit of an old school.
Yeah, that's most people appreciate that.
Yeah, but I do have a girlfriend, and she also has to survive, and she's an artist, and it's so hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Creative
so
people.
Hard. Creative people are so beautiful. They've all got beautiful hearts, and that's the other thing. We have to fight. And we don't want to fight.
No.
I mean, you could play on the 10th of November, Visage, Fade to Grey, 45 years ago.
Okay.
And I won't receive a penny. I won't get anything.
Yeah.
And in my book, it tells you why. But I remade Fade to Grey with Zane Griff, who made 2 albums with Tony Visconti. Anyway, and I remade it with a French girl who I produced in the 80s with Midjour. But I remade it with Chris Payne, the original keyboard player from Gary Newman. And 9 out of 10 people that hear it send me a message saying, oh, my God, it's a masterpiece. It's amazing. And the artwork is Mark Wardell, who took Polaroid pictures in the 80s, and he offered them for the covers of the records of Zane. And Zane and Ronnie were both friends with Steve Strange and came to the Blitz. And basically, no one will play that. They'll just play the original record. And there's me going, but I've got a brand new record coming out. I've put all the love and everything into it. And you'll go, yeah, well, no one will play it, Rusty. So we're just used to that now.
Yeah.
But I do get, not a lot, 50 messages, not thousands, saying, I love your music, Rusty. I love it.
That's
I
nice.
listen to it. Yeah, I get people going, I've got headphones on, I'm in Spain and I'm having a glass of wine and I'm listening to this song. Because people, do they really listen? I mean, it's background while you're at work or it's in the car and you're talking to someone. But when you actually put on, like I used to as a fan, David Bowie Heroes, and I knew all the words. 20-year-olds know all the words of Taylor Swift. They sing every single word. She might as well not even sing when she does a gig. You know, 20,000 girls screaming every word. You were when I met you and you were young and I was wearing a T-shirt and he was wearing jeans. I mean, girly pop. They know every word. And we were like that about David Bowie and Roxy Music. So hopefully someone listens to Rusty Egan's album Romantic and maybe goes to a car boot in 6 months and buys my book.
They don't need to, Rusty. They can get it on our website. If you go to tre.radio, you can get Rusty Egan, the autobiography, on our website. And it is by...
Did you get Martin Kemp?
No, well, he hasn't been on, so no. No, you got one up on him. You can tell him.
No, well, he does a gig and 5,000 girls show up. And I do a gig and 400 bald blokes show up. So I'm off on tour with Heaven 17.
Oh, wonderful. That'll be good.
On Thursday.
Brilliant.
So I might be in a town near you.
Good stuff.
And I've got a big poster saying I've got a book out. But I don't know if I've got a book. But I will be at Louder Than Words in Cheshire.
Good stuff.
Which is a book thing. I'll be there. And I'm in Manchester with Richard Jobson, who's in my book from the Skids.
Can people get all this information on your website? Because we've got the news coming up, so I'm going to have to say goodbye, unfortunately.
RustyEgan.com.
Brilliant. RustyEgan.com, so they can get all the info from there. The new album is called Romantic, and the autobiography is Rusty Egan, the autobiography. Rusty, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for enduring me.